is who's rolling up, because that's all that matters. See, I can't control who quits. I can only control whether they leave me somebody, right? And so let me show you how simple this is. If the average person on Facebook, there's 1 billion people on Facebook on the planet. The average person on Facebook has 136 friends on Facebook. So that means that the average person 2 levels below them, their friends who have friends, they have 16,900 friends on Facebook, and 3 levels is 2.2 million, and 4 levels is 285 million. So every single person in this room is a minimum of 4 levels from almost 1/3 of the whole people on Facebook. 5 levels from almost 1/5 of the people on the planet. So every single recruit that quits, that I'm not effective with their market, they leave with 2.2 million people, 2.2 million referrals, 3 levels below them. So when you don't do the right job with a recruit and they leave, they leave with 2.2 million potential referrals. And what happens when that recruit leaves because I didn't do the right job of getting a name list within 24 hours, getting them as a client within 24 hours, and then being on an appointment to get them an IBA within the first 2 to 3 days of them joining the business, and then they leave. What does that do for me? That means now I got to go out and potentially face the rejection of being in the cold market again. And I don't want to do that. And unfortunately right now in Primerica, if you ask most people to do their circle chart of all the recruits they've got in the business, almost everybody looks like a Ferris wheel. You've got them in the center and 30 people they've recruited around them, and maybe a couple of the people they've recruited have a person. But that's it. That's not how the business is built. The business is built by 3 who get 3, who get 3, who get 3. So if I sit down with somebody, I say, listen, all you have to do is get me to 3. Everybody's got 3. Everybody's got 3 friends that can say, listen, what are you doing Wednesday night? I'm coming over and I'm bringing somebody, and you and I are going to do something. Well, what is it? Shut up. I'm coming over. Just be there. We all have 3. We don't have 20 that we can say that to, but we've got 3. We got 3 that when we get to their house and we go, and they go, well, what exactly is it? Listen, you know I'm not a flake. We've been talking about we need to make more money. It's all I hear you talking about. So I found a guy that makes a lot of money, and we're going to do this together, and we're going to make a ton of money together. Well, I need more information. No, you don't. Listen, fill out this paperwork. We're going to go to training together. We're going to do this, right? Everybody has 3. The problem is, if you're not there when they talk to their 3, they will blow their 3 sky high, and then those 3 are no good. And then what are you doing? You got to go out and try and wade through their market if possible. But if you'll do the right thing and you go get them 3 their first week, and then the next week, quit being friends with those initial people you recruit. The next week, forget about the 3 you got for them and go get 3 for them. And the goal is, by the end of the first month, you go 4 levels deep in every single market you've got. 4 levels deep. So my objective when I wake up every day is to look at my business and see who in my business is not a senior rep and fix that problem. My job is to produce senior reps. Now, as soon as they join, I get them as a client. So they actually become districts because I write up everybody that joins. Not all of them need insurance, but every single one of them gets a F&A and has business. Whether it's a debt watchers, prepaid legal, whether it's a mutual fund or an insurance, they're going to get something because everybody needs something that we've got. And so all I've got to do is just make sure that I'm rapidly penetrating those markets. So if I go 3, 9, 27, 81 within 1 month of a person joining, I'll have recruited them a total of 120 people on their team, of which 40 or so will get licensed when you're taprooting. The stats of the company, which are 10 to 15% get licensed, or your stats, which might be lower than that, are only that way because you're working in the cold market. If you drive through and go 4 or 5 deep in a person's leg, all of them get licensed because of the fear of loss, which is the greatest motivation. And so if I go 3, 9, 27, 81 at the end of a month, I've recruited 120 people, 40 will get licensed, that person's an RVP within 6 months. And that's what I did in the beginning to produce the number of RVPs that we produced that got me free in the business. So, every night when I got home, I ask myself one question. Did I make money today? Now, Christmas is coming. You go to the mall, you see these people with kiosks. They're selling Dead Sea salt and, wickets and gadgets and all these different things, right? And they're paying $5,000 a month to have their little kiosk at the mall. You know the guy that's got a little kiosk at the mall selling some sort of little widget or popcorn or something like that? He's doing it there to make a few bucks. Do you think that every single night that guy knows how much money he's made and how many little widgets or gadgets he sold out of his booth that day? Every single night. Why? Because it's a business, right? So let me ask you a question. Do you look at your business every single day, your Primerica business, and say, did my business generate cash flow today? And if you don't, you're not treating this like a business. And the problem is, if you don't treat Primerica like a business, if you treat it like a hobby, it'll pay exactly like a hobby. And hobbies don't pay. And that's why Primerica doesn't pay for some people. They don't treat it properly. So every day for 5 years, I focused my energy on making money. Why? I had to survive. And so you go, what is the most surest way for me to succeed in Primerica? Tomorrow morning when you go to work, quit your job. Quit your job tomorrow morning. Jobs suck, right, anyway? Jobs are death. Jobs are of the devil, right? They are, right? They're designed to enslave you, to put you in bondage. They're designed to take all your ambition out of your life. They're designed to put you down and make you a servant of others, right? A slave. So jobs suck. Jobs are of the devil. Just understand that. So each day you go to your job, in essence, you're working for the devil. And so what you've got to do is you've got to quit your job. Because jobs are no good. Nobody gets financially independent in a job. 5% of the population in this country controls 90% of the assets. 1%, the top 1% in America controls 40% of all the assets in America. It is not an even split. And the gap between the rich and poor is getting wider every single year. You've got to get serious or you will be a victim of what's coming in this country. You've got to get serious about getting leverage going and getting residual income built. So I knew that if I could survive Primerica, eventually I would figure this thing out and I would get myself into that $100,000 book. Now here's what I do. This is how I make a living now. What I do for a living is I put people in this book. My business partner, Jerry Beyer, and I out of Detroit have put about 80 people in this book so far. And our objective the next 5 years is to get another 300 people in this book. Now, who's your business partner? Brendan and Ann Merton? That's your business partner? Rafa and Susan, if you're in their business, that's your business partner? How many people have they put in the book? I'd want to know that. And so what I do is I find out how many people they have in the book so far. I tab all the pages, and everybody I sit down with, I bring this book and say, my business partners and I have put in this amount of people in the book, 30, 40, 50, and our objective is to put another 100 people in the book. I'm just looking for people who want to make a six-figure income. Well, what do? What we do is legal, ethical, and moral. Do you want to be in the book?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, I got soccer on Saturday mornings and I don't know. Okay, thanks, next. You're not an ace. You're a 3 of hearts. I got to get on to the next person. There's nothing I can do with a 3 to turn it into an ace. Stop trying to convince people. We're in the sorting business. The faster you can go through people and tell them the story and show them the book, the faster you can find your aces and get free in the business. Stop trying to convince. You had people you invited tonight, they didn't show up. God bless them. Whatever. Next. Does that mean you shouldn't call them? No, call them. Say, hey, obviously, are you okay? Something must have happened. I thought you were serious. October of 1993 was my last month in the field. I have not done a kitchen table presentation since, even before the whole Monica Lewinsky thing. I've been out of the field since then. It was like my last month doing kitchen tables. Listen, I know some of you love doing kitchen tables. That's why you're not big and successful in Primerica. I hated it. I hated it so much that I was willing to recruit and do everything that I could to build a team so that eventually I didn't have to do kitchen tables. So that was my last month ever training a person. I haven't trained a person since '93. It's my last month prospecting daily. I used to go out prospecting every day, doing recruiting interviews and prospecting. October of '93, that's it. Never talked to a stranger since. As far as Primerica is concerned. I shouldn't say I've talked to the odd person who starts a conversation with me. It was my last month working evenings. How many of you guys like working at nights? You know, you go to work during the daytime, and then at night you're out doing kitchen table. I didn't like doing nighttime appointments. Driving out to a house, you can't figure out where the house number is, and then you're walking up to the door. I had that sick feeling every time I walked up the steps. Didn't you? Don't you? Now getting there, of course, people say to me all the time, I know, I love, when we get there, what we do for people is amazing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the process to get a kitchen table. That sucks. Evidently, most of you hate that process. Don't tell me you love it. I'll ask them for leaders' bulletins, right? So that was my last month doing paperwork, having to do all that paperwork and stuff. October of 1993 was my victory day. It's the day I got free, and I've been free since then. I've owned